Panago Pizza presents SCP. The Steve Dangle Podcast with your hosts, Steve Dangle and Adam Wilde.
We're going to start the show today with news that will probably be completely out of date by the time
the whole show is out of date garbage.
Except for
whatever.
the stuff that we talked that has already happened, right?
Yeah.
That will be out of date. Hey, Elliot Friedman is reporting there is a Panarin-Saad deal in the works.
Yeah, what on earth is that?
Artemi Panarin for Brandon Saad between Chicago and Columbus. We should mention that we know that Chicago has already made another deal. Chalmerson is going to Arizona.
For Connor Murphy and Laurent Dauphin.
What do you know about those players? Connor Murphy and Laurent Dauphin.
Glad you asked. I brought it up on Jesse's computer. Murphy, I believe, is a right-handed... Wait, do I have it confused? Here, this is why we brought it up. Murphy was a first-round pick in 2011, which I was like, oh, he's a prospect. No, that's not true. That's not how it works. Because 2011 was a long time ago.
It was a long
and
time
I'm getting
ago.
used to that. So he's a right-hand defenseman, 24 years old. Last season, he played 77 games, 2 assists, 15 points for 17 points. 15 assists for 17 points. And again, right-handed defensemen are kind of at a premium. Dauphin is a 22-year-old second-round pick from 2013. He only had 2 goals and 1 assist for 3 points in 24 NHL games last year. But in the AHL, as a center, which Chicago could use a cheap version of, he had 17 goals, 11 assists for 28 points in 38 games. Halmerson, on the other hand, 5 goals, 13 assists, 18 points in 73 games in the NHL. But as we know, here I'm going to bring up his hero chart right here. And
His shot suppression is pretty high.
He is, very good. So for those of you who are familiar with hero charts from ownthepuck.blogspot.ca, his ice time was a 7, goals 5, first assist 4, shot generation 4. All those things are pretty ho-hum. His shot suppression, 9. So when people talk to you about a big, tough, rugged, shutdown D, lots of names come to mind.
Luke Shen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Halmerson is very far down that list, but he is literally that. He's not the most heavy guy at $197, according to HockeyDB, but he's 6'3", Swedish countryman of what it sounds like future captain Oliver Ekman-Larsson, so that'd be good. 30 years old, brings some stability to a team with none.
I wonder if they play together. And he's the stay-at-home guy, and OEL is OEL.
That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, it's a pretty scary top
pretty
player.
Decent little pairing. So I don't know what to make of the deal, just because you ever read the comments just to see who won the deal?
Yeah, like what the consensus is?
Yeah. There is none. What are the Coyotes doing? Oh, great move by Chayka. He fleeced them. What's Chicago doing? Oh, great move by Chicago. And now I'm just confused.
Now Chicago is under the cap.
Well, so this was the thing that confused me. Jesse, I'm just going to steal your computer for prolonged periods of time. I'm very sorry. Trying to look at the cap hits for Panarin and Saad, because that would basically be Panarin going back to his former team and Saad going back to his former team. So Panarin...
So weird, this deal. And why did Chicago?
Oh, not
make this?
Panarin. I'm sorry. Anisimov. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Was it Panarin or Anisimov?
No, it's Panarin. It was Anisimov was the trade. Panarin was the signing.
Is there a tweet? Why don't you just read the tweet?
Yeah,
Brendan,
sorry.
Well,
Adam.
no. I just read it out. Elliot Friedman. What I read out was what Elliot Friedman said. It's a Panarin-Saad deal.
Oh, it is Panarin.
But Anisimov went to Chicago for Saad.
Right. Oh, so I made a mistake there. So Panarin makes $6 million, and I think Saad does too. Anisimov for Saad, that didn't make any sense to me.
No, it's Panarin. We said Panarin.
Okay, that's my fault. Okay, so they're matching cap hits. And apparently Saad is a winger.
Hold on.
I believe I've made that mistake before, so whatever.
Hold on. Breaking news. Joel Quenneville just walked out of the coaches' meeting at the league's official draft hotel, got in a cab, and left.
Wonder what
From
that
Dan
means.
Rosen.
Ooh, from NHL Network, I believe. Or is that MSG?
I believe it's NHL.
I should know that.
Yeah, and it's official. It's official.
Yeah.
Panarin to the Blue Jackets for Brandon Saad.
Holy smokes.
Friedman says he thinks there's going to be more going back to Chicago.
Well, and that would make sense
Yeah.
because Panarin's younger, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of scary for Columbus. That's a really good pickup. Panarin's...
I wonder what the thinking there was.
Me too. Me too, because that was part of Chicago's issue is they couldn't score.
I'm going to tweet that we're recording. just to see what people say.
Because a bunch of people are already tweeting me going, I hope you haven't missed this.
Yeah. No, just started.
Okay, wow. So that's officially official. Wow.
Yeah, I won't steal your computer anymore, but
No.
keep an eye on Twitter.
Oh,
because-
man. I'm just scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah, have like 6 tabs open for all the big guys.
Dan Rosen also says, also remember that Halmerson and Oliver Ekman-Larsson played together for Sweden at the World Cup.
Worthwhile to mention, you know what? It's 12:25 right now. By the time the show comes up and by the time most people listen to it, the first round will have started. I have a source, heard a rumor around the Leafs pursuing Travis Hamonic, which just makes sense because
Now-
he is allegedly available at a right-handed shot defenseman.
Here's what a particular network's doing.
Okay.
It's available defenseman. The Leafs might be in on him.
I saw that on TVO this morning.
TVO?
I think it was Big Bird who said it.
Yes, and it's funny because
Crazy.
it'll be like one person from said network will say, Leafs are in on this guy. The other person will say, nope.
Yeah.
And so it seems like, is this this source that you have this from
He's legit.
is legit?
The other piece going back to Chicago is Anton Forsberg, goalie.
Oh.
So that's their backup. That'll replace
damn.
Scott Darling.
There you go.
And I would have taken Anton Forsberg in the expansion draft.
And
Did you pick him?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Columbus probably expected to maybe lose a goalie in either Corpusalo or Forsberg. But Corpusalo I think was part of that deal.
He was exempt.
Interesting.
And
was?
Adam won the expansion draft, actually.
I did.
Yeah, he had the most correct picks.
Oh,
So, yeah,
very
somebody
good.
tweeted
Wow, I
us.
can't believe you actually went through and looked.
No,
that up.
somebody
Someone
tweeted
else?
to us. I'll bring it up so we can credit them.
The proudest pick I have is Griffin Reinhart. I'm like, there is no chance in hell.
You nailed that.
I don't know how I nailed that.
So
that.
Grim Truth 23 on Twitter wrote expansion draft results. Adam 13.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really
that was
good.
not bad.
Oh, thanks, gentlemen. Wow. Really
Steve?
dumb luck.
11,
Hey, I'm
good.
proud of that.
Pretty good.
and I got 8.
That's still pretty
But Grim Truth writes Jesse got Spiza right, so he wins.
Wow.
And you know,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
tweeted this morning, I'm like, nobody had Spiza.
No.
Nobody had.
know,
I don't
except for
know
me.
why they took Spiza.
You know what was really funny is we all had picks that we were right on,
Mm-hmm.
obviously, but we all had picks that were a little weird to some people, and so the ones that were weird but were right, I got lots of tweets for. Everyone's like, "Bravo on Schlemko, bravo, bravo."
Well, Schlemko is like a
Were we 3 for 3 on that?
Yeah, we all took
Schlemko,
Schlemko.
yeah.
Oh, were we?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
It made sense. He was a good defenseman.
a lot of people
He's-
thought Brendan Dillon.
Yeah, but nobody else was saying it. Yeah.
Schlemko.
You know what matters? It's who called it.
Oh, apparently George McPhee is an analytics soft. Who did he get? Spiza? All right, never mind. He just kind of picked Schlemko
Oh, England.
out of a hat.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So now we're in this
No,
conversation.
well, we'll get
Are
to it.
No?
We'll get to it because
Okay.
there's something else we need to talk about. We're on the topic of Arizona originally.
It's going to be impossible
Yes.
to get to everything today.
Arizona fired Dave Tippett late last night.
Yeah, that was confusing. It
So-
was like a mutual parting.
So
But
he-
they also have to pay him $3 million, so no.
So it's not mutual. Well, no, it's a mutual parting, as in he wanted out and they wanted him out, and they still have to pay him because that's his contract. But
Damn.
what blows me away here is the fact that people were like, "Well, he's bad with the young players," and because when I tweeted it this morning, there were somehow people up at 5 a.m. He's bad with the young players, and he's this and he's that. Okay, fine. If he's stifling young players, why are you not letting him go at the end of the season? Like, they had the entire playoffs to make this decision, but you're going to let the guy go between the expansion and the entry draft. That's
Yeah,
weird. There was an argument.
Some people might definitely frown on this because he missed out on some openings. You know, he could have gone to Florida, could have gone to Buffalo. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's a little bit of a similar situation to
Maybe there was a breaking point, though.
maybe it was after Doan was let go or whatever. I can't imagine they didn't have that conversation sooner. But remember when Pittsburgh let Bilesma go, and they kind of strung him along, and a lot of media members were kind of like, "That's bullshit, man! Like, why did you let that happen?"
Mm-hmm. And Poulin and Lozelle, when the Leafs let him go mid-August.
Yeah. So I think that might be a similar thing with Tippett, because there were some people said some silly things this morning. I thought, like, well, LeBron, I'll just say it, who I love, but he was like, they don't have a captain and they get rid of their coach.
No Doan and no Tippett. That doesn't sound like progress to me.
And I'm like, that sounds like the definition of progress. You're moving on from a 40-year-old player who, look at his numbers, dude. He's not that useful anymore. Sorry. They offered him a role within the organization. They wanted to keep him around. It was his choice to pursue other ventures. So there's that.
We don't know. We don't have an answer on that yet.
Let me know when you guys are ready for the full details of the Chicago trade.
We're ready. Let's.
And as for Tippett, it wasn't working. You could argue that it was the players he was given to work with. I would agree with you there, but he'd been there a long time. It's a new era. They got lots of young players. Dylan Strome's probably going to come into the lineup this year. Why not start there? You're going to have a new coach, new captain. It's a new era. Why not start fresh?
I do wonder as well. He's a leftover from the last guy. And, I wonder, because it wasn't like Shaka hired Tippett. So, Tippett's been there for a while, hasn't he? So
apparently there was something about this is payback for Tippett undercutting Maloney. And I think that might have had to do with the John Scott stuff. I don't really remember.
Oh,
There's
I don't know
too
how
much
what's
going
the,
on.
Yeah,
There's
anyway.
too much information.
Arizona will look for a coach. There are coaches out there. They'll find one.
I think it might be Sheldon Keefe.
I think it'll be Lindy Ruff.
Ooh. No, it didn't.
Did he get hired?
I think he landed somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. No, that was Hitchcock.
Mm-hmm.
All those old coaches that get recycled.
Yes.
They keep confusing.
It will not be Sheldon Keefe.
We
You
already
know
know
why? Because
they've-
the Leafs will say, nah, dog. No.
I don't think they're able to.
Oh.
I don't think they're able to. And we already know the Coyotes have eyes on the Leafs organization. They took a look at Dubas. I bet they take a look at Sheldon Keefe. And Hockey Hannah on Twitter mentioned maybe Todd Nelson, former coach of the Oilers, who I don't know why they didn't
What
bring
about
him back.
Dallas Eakins? I'd like to see him get a second
Why
shot
not
at
Dallas
something.
Eakins?
I like him.
I think the Coyotes of all teams would go off the board and not hire just another old guy.
Because Dallas Eakins had not only a great rapport with his players, with the Marlies at least. I know it didn't work out well in Edmonton, but Dallas Eakins kind of had the cards stacked against him there.
What did work out in Edmonton?
Yeah.
If Dallas Eakins, a lot of people call Dallas Eakins' stint in the Oilers or with the Oilers a failure. Okay, what
was the
Ralph
success?
Kruger and what of Todd Nelson and what of McClellan didn't succeed until they got McDavid.
Yeah.
We don't know what the Oilers looked like with Todd McClellan, who is widely regarded as, I don't know, if you go by votes, he was the third best coach in the league this year.
Don't even get me started on the Jack Adams Award. I was so pissed. So pissed.
Sorry, Jesse, I cut you off
Please.
for the Blackhawks there.
Full deal. To the Blackhawks. Brandon Saad, Anton Forsberg, and a 2018 fifth-round pick.
Oh, now we got a deal.
This is what we call a hockey trade, as opposed to a not hockey trade, which I don't know what that is. Anyway.
To the Blue Jackets, Panarin, Tyler Mott, and a 2017, so Saturday, sixth-round pick.
Sorry, one more time?
Panarin, Tyler Mott, and a sixth-round pick this weekend.
Wasn't Mott a first-round pick once upon a time? Motte?
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry,
And
I just got a call.
There's another wrinkle to this.
Do you need to take the call?
No.
Oh, okay.
He was a fourth-round pick, not a first round.
Oh,
2013 fourth-round pick.
I believe he had a pretty decent stint on Taves' wing this year. He was one of the many. The Blackhawks just don't have any freaking money.
Mm-hmm. 4 goals, 3 assists in 33 games.
Interesting that they're bringing Brandon Saad back. I wonder what the...
What is that?
From Frank Saravelli. It is interesting because the belief is Taves and Kane let it be known to the Hawks how much they missed Saad. They loved him.
Okay, so
that's the report.
Then,
so you're trading Panarin?
As a result, though, you're getting rid of a guy who, belief is Taves and Patrick Kane. Yeah, okay, so it's just the tweet that I read. No, I believe you. I believe that you read the thing that he wrote. It's just the Blackhawks made Panarin a star, and Kane did really well with Panarin. Is Saad that? I don't know. Do you know how to do hero chart comparables?
You can pull it up if you
I'll do it.
Like. Yeah, go ahead. Adam, what do you think?
That's very interesting.
I think it's interesting. I want to know what Saad's numbers were last year. I never saw him as he's not like a pure scorer. And it might be a character thing too. They might, I doubt that they went to the general manager and said, "Hey, trade Panarin for him." I'm sure that they weren't expecting that.
So 2 seasons ago with Columbus, he had 31 goals and 22 assists for 53 points.
That's great.
Last season, in 4 more games, he had 24 goals, 29 assists for 53 points. So exact same.
So he scores at about a JVR level.
Yeah, maybe a little less.
And he gets paid a little bit more.
What did JVR?
Because JVR has like a sweetheart
we'll,
deal.
We'll look that up later. Here, let me get the hero.
I don't know that. I mean, okay, fine, that's a personality thing, but what else are they gonna? You still scored 3 goals in the first round. You still had problems scoring all year. Is Brandon Saad your pure goal scorer?
These moves always worry me. The inmates running the asylum sort of thing.
You
bringing a guy back. I mean, the whole issue with the Blackhawks is, they held on for too long.
Imagine they'd let Brent Seabrook go last summer and not sign him to that deal.
But he's a locker room leader.
None of this would have to happen if they would just let him go. They're getting, you know what they're getting? Who's the GM? The former GM, and I can't think of his name right now. LA. Just let
Not
go.
Sutter.
No, GM.
I know.
Lombardi.
Thank you. Jesus, how did I forget
Dean
that?
Lombardi. You're getting Dean Lombardi'd.
Wow. Okay, so Saad is a very good player.
Of course he is.
But Panarin's better. Look at that. I'll just pass it around.
Okay, well tell us, man.
Well, okay.
Yeah, read it out.
Sorry.
They're both great.
Okay. With Saad being first and Panarin being second, it's 6-7 for ice time, 9-7 for goals, 6-7 for first assists, 7-8 for shot generation, and 6-9 for shot suppression.
So Panarin's a better shot
Panarin,
suppression.
Selke Trophy nominee. Now, I mean, I don't know. It's not the biggest sample with Panarin, which is funny because he hasn't actually played that long.
Saad a centerman?
I thought he was, and they might have tried him there, but apparently they're both wingers.
Yeah.
I think Panarin's right and Saad is left.
See, yeah, I think that's their problem.
I think a lot of wingers can also play both wings.
Because you don't have Kruger anymore now, apparently. Or no, they do. They still have Kruger because that trade never happened.
Still might. Might by the end of the show. Might in the next 5 minutes. I don't freaking know.
Well, I was going to come on here and complain about the lack of trades, but now we're okay.
So Panarin is
fine.
25, has 2 years left at $6 million. Saad is 24, has 4 years left at a $6 million cap hit. Mott has 2 years of his ELC, and Forsberg is an RFA. There you go. This is the contract situation. That's
good for Forsberg. He's going to get a shot at actually, hacking it in the NHL because he wouldn't have got that in Columbus. Columbus is dealing from a place of strength there. Chicago had to trade Scott Darling. And it'll be interesting to see with Eddie Lack, Cam Ward, and Scott Darling in Carolina. Is Scott Darling the new starter of the Carolina Hurricanes?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I think
he was the one they protected.
He was.
Well, yeah, he must have been.
And that was one thing that I wanted to bring up on the last show, but there's so much
protect
information.
your starter.
Okay, next.
We saw that with Colorado too.
Yeah.
The long-term move might have been to protect Pickard, but he's not their starter right now. You protect your starter.
Strome for Eberle.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is the not knowing the true definition of a hockey trade. I have no idea what that means.
It's a 1-for-1. No, and that's hockey trades are done. They're
what is a hockey trade?
You know what? A hockey trade is Subban for Weber in a way. Yeah, I know that sounds weird because it was sold as kind of a trading of personalities, but in that you get two players who are essentially the same, right? I would call this a hockey trade. The trade the Blue Jackets and Blackhawks just made. That's roughly
with politics involved.
Well, there's
see,
to me, a hockey trade, if it's going to be anything, it would be you have this weakness, I have that as a strength. I have this weakness, you have that as a strength, and we can both.
I got it. Ryan Johansson for Seth Jones.
Perfect. That's a hockey trade.
That's a hockey trade.
That doesn't strike me as a hockey trade.
Eberle for Strome.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly, I don't know.
It seemed like they were just bound to determine that Eberle was going to be gone, and it's like, what is the maximum we can get for him?
Toronto's a bit of a madhouse when it comes to the team and media, and the media goes hot and cold. There's a variety. With Edmonton, the witch hunt starts, and then it doesn't stop until that person, whether it's a manager, coach, or player, is gone. And as soon as I saw
they allow it, though.
I know, but as soon as I saw that Eberle ball rolling down the hill, again, I love those guys out there, but no one carries water like the Edmonton media. And Eberle's time, it ran out. And it wasn't just out there. Like Kelly Rudy really called him out pretty hardcore on Hockey Night one night, either this season or last. I'm going to go with probably last on account of the Oilers had a really wicked season. This was more of a trade of money to me. The Oilers wanted to free up some money. They got to spend a lot of money down the middle over the next 2 years. They got to re-sign Draisaitl, and then they got to re-sign McDavid. They can't afford to spend that much on wingers. Taylor Hall's already gone. That was supposedly a locker room thing, but it's on a similar vein. And now Eberle's gone for a much cheaper Ryan Strome. Here's the thing, Strome is not nearly as good. All the numbers show it.
I think you guys need to get me a bell or something so I can ding when there's a trade.
Just say ding.
Just go ding, 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 ding.
Just make ding noises.
Yeah.
So the Minnesota Wild traded Dante Salaturo to the Columbus for Jordan Schroeder.
Jordan Schrader.
Schrader?
It's not spelled that way, but who cares? Yeah.
Anyways, that's a mini trade. It just happened.
That's one of those names where I'm like, you don't get to tell me that's how it's pronounced. Those aren't the letters that make those noises. Yeah. Okay, so it's a little minor league.
Okay,
deal.
it's good to know.
I'm glad these deals are coming out now, even though it's going to hurt the show a little bit. Because
Why is it going to hurt the show?
Gary Bettman is going to be sweating. Okay, before we announce pick number 4,
We have a name.
we have the 8th trade of the draft.
Man, did you see the NBA draft was just wild?
I didn't see
last
it, no.
night. Wild.
I heard it was nuts. Lots of
Freaking-
Woj bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Woj must be sleeping in today.
Yeah.
I would hope he is.
It's crazy how every time he beats the TV, like the people who are actually there to announce the trades,
Yeah, 'cause-
he has it first.
Because that's the
Woj
thing
bomb.
is that the teams are not actually there. The picks are there, but the general managers are not there. The coaches are not there. It's just they call it in, and then the commissioner walks out and says, "Here's the draft pick."
I'm disconnected. So who is the Bob McKenzie, Elliot Friedman of the NBA? Is it him?
Woj.
Yeah, it'd be Woj.
Woj, and there's another guy up there. There's a couple.
He's looking.
But yeah, there's-
Stephen A.
there's-
Smith. Who was on crack?
We're getting to that clip. We're gonna run that before the end. Strome for Eberle. Now it does save them some cap room. Strome's a right winger.
He's a winger.
Okay.
I don't put too much fuss onto who plays what wing.
Is Edmonton
Cap.
Is Edmonton better next year?
As a result, no, I don't think so.
And by the way, the rumor today is it's Chris Russell, 4 years, $16 million.
Yeah, so
4 over 4.
That's only $1 million raise on top of what he got last year, I think.
And that's what he was looking for last year. The Leafs were this
Ding.
close to signing.
Oh,
Oh my
Ding,
God,
ding,
really?
ding, ding. This is from Dreger. Another big Arizona trade in the work. Ranta and Stepan likely to the Coyotes for the 7th overall.
What?
That's a good move.
For a
Good move
goalie
for
they
Arizona.
probably expected to lose. New York.
Oh, it's a good move for New York. That's a
Yeah.
very high price to pay for the Coyotes.
You think so?
For
Yeah.
the 7th overall
They've wanted
pick.
Stepan for a long, long time, and that trade has been linked to happening for a while.
Wow.
I don't think Arizona needs more prospects.
No, well, and
I
they got
think they're okay.
the Datsuk trade, that abomination of a trade, was just free for them. So they literally got free picks. Free. It cost them $0. It cost them cap, but who cares? You're the Coyotes. You suck. So
And you have an internal cap anyway. You're
Yeah.
not using it.
I mean, the Coyotes are a better team now than they were 3 hours ago. They added Holmerson. They added
Stepan
and
and
Ranta,
Ranta.
even though it's
So they have
not
a starter
confirmed.
again.
I should tease because we're going to get another ding in 30 seconds, I'm sure, that Aly Munro is coming on later in the show. She's the in-arena host for the Mississauga Steelheads. We're going to be talking at Puck Talks together, and she's going to give us some insight for some of the guys who are going to get drafted tonight. It doesn't matter where they go in the draft. She's just going to give you information about them.
Overall, I don't want to get too into how Vegas handled the expansion draft. I do want to talk about how many picks they have, which is crazy.
That's nuts, and you can see what they're going for.
But in terms of players they picked, George McPhee said exactly what they were going to do 2 days before when he said, we're going to pick a lot of defensemen.
Yep.
So they are going to make moves. They are for sure going to
they
make
already
moves.
have. They traded 3 of them?
Oh, really?
Well, they traded TVR, Trevor Van Riemsdyk,
Yes.
David Schlemko, and Alexei. No, did they trade?
No, not
Emelin yet?
Yemlin yet. I got to tell
Not
you,
yet.
that Schlemko deal is a great deal by Mark Bergevin. And I never thought I'd say great deal in Mark Bergevin again. 5th round pick for that guy?
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And if you're George McPhee, you pick players either to keep them or to trade them for their value. You got a 5th round
That's
pick.
all you got?
You
I'm sure
got
the
to
Leafs
take
would have picked
a
that.
free player from every single team in the National Hockey League. And one of those picks was a 5th rounder? That's horrible.
Yeah.
What an opportunity wasted. That's all you got?
You could get more for Schlemko somewhere else. I don't know what.
Or keep him.
Yeah, at $2.1 million or something, was it? It's great.
2.1 minute. The term is a bit concerning because I think he's 30, 31 already, but that's a fine deal. He's not
He's not going to kill you.
worth a whole lot. What are you doing?
Well, and
no, I didn't agree with that at all.
There's a couple deals or a couple things that he did where I was like the Islanders absolutely fleeced the Islanders. Fleeced.
What?
Yeah,
They
you
said-
think?
They got because they got
fleeced who?
The Islanders fleeced the Islanders?
You said-
the Islanders fleeced. Sorry.
You said the Islanders fleeced the Islanders.
And I do believe that that's what I meant because Garth Snow's a dummy. I don't know why. Why are you giving up? How does Vegas now have your first and have a first this year and a second in 2 years? How does that happen?
Well, okay, so what did they take on?
Grabowski
They
and
took on a
Kuhlman.
prospect I hadn't heard of. Mikhail Grabowski, and I think that was it.
No, yeah, there's no Kuhlman. Sorry, yeah.
And they got to protect. I mean, the Islanders had lots of guys that Vegas could have taken.
I don't know, man. I mean, congratulations to.
I think I don't know that the Islanders are clearly going for it, and I think when you trade picks like that, you're indicating that you're about to blow the doors off in free agency.
One other trade I wanted to mention,
Sure.
and this is important.
Which, by the way, feeds the fire of the Kovalchuk rumors. Anyway.
How did Pittsburgh end up sending a second-round pick to Vegas?
So,
And this is great.
yeah, supposedly that was to guarantee that Vegas was going to take Fleury. Which, wasn't that like the single most coveted pick they could have picked?
Well, him and James Neal, I would have thought, were the two best players available.
But wouldn't you be happy with them taking Neil and being like, hey, we'll just keep Fleury and Murray?
I think George McPhee played that one real well. Sorry, we could take Hagelin, Bonino, Rust, or Fleury, and we might need all of them.
who's a free agent.
Yeah, but
Oh, Bonino's a free agent, right?
I mean,
RFA.
no, he's a UFA.
He's a UFA?
Sorry.
Okay. But still, he played that well.
Speaking of UFAs, Derek England being a free agent and then wasting a pick on him, just so you could have him there in Vegas as your Vegas resident that you parade around.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's not going to play.
Leave the human element out of it. You're able to talk to free agents in that window. You go to them, you say, hey, Derek England, we're going to sign you in free agency. Come be in Vegas. We'll make a big deal out of it. And we're also going to take Hunter Shinkaruk or anyone else from the Flames. You took Derek England? Because you got to get in on that early.
We need one local guy, and it's Derek England. That was a bad move.
I don't know. Well, I think it makes perfect sense that they have him. A lot of people ignore the community part of it all. I don't see England being a regular in their lineup next year.
Tell me about
you
Eric.
can't ignor the community element of it all. You already see Fleury playing like street hockey games with kids. Like that's so important. England is going to be the face that a lot of kids growing up in Nevada are going to look at and go, "Oh wow."
But you
Even though
hope
he's not
for
from
the
there, but-
sake of the on-ice team that you can delay this 2 weeks and then just sign him.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And get another player who's a lot better.
There's so many guys too. Picking Cody Eakin was just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, I didn't like that
Eric
pick.
Hoala. I don't even know. What?
They
And then
got Holla
re-signing him.
and Alex Tuck, who's supposedly a very good AHL prospect.
Ding, ding, ding.
Get out of
God,
here.
wow.
So this one isn't confirmed yet, but for the Hamonic
from?
deal, it's from Chris Nichols.
Oh, Hamonic.
In the Hamonic deal, Islanders believed to have an offer on the table for Duchesne, with Hamonic going back the other way.
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh, boy.
Okay. Well,
Imagine if you get 2 of the top 3 picks from 2009
Ooh.
on your team, Tavares and Duchesne.
good Lord.
Anyways, keep going.
Okay.
They're going for it, man. Islanders are going for it. Look out. They're trying to add. They didn't waste all those picks for nothing.
No.
They weren't a playoff team.
No.
And there was no indication that they were going to make it next year either, unless it was just by chance.
So they're making moves.
So they're making moves, and they shed some money, clearly for the intention of spending it.
Tell me why Vegas took on these players. Lucas Pisa,
I don't know.
Riley Smith, and then re-signing Riley Smith. Or no, Florida signed the Riley Smith deal.
I think so.
Riley Smith is going to make $5 million for the next 5 years.
5 years.
That's too much for too long.
$5 million.
It's too much for too long, but that's a decent player. Like, go look at his production. That's not a bad player.
Okay.
It's too much for too long. But, like, for Vegas, I don't really think that's too much of an issue.
Right.
So what they got from Florida, if I'm not mistaken, I might have this wrong, was Marchessault, Smith, and a pick. Or did the pick go to Florida?
I don't know.
I think it was that.
I think it did go to Florida.
Doesn't really matter because it was a fairly late pick. Like, so when you think about it, from Florida, you got Marchessault, whose contract is so good that it kind of offsets Riley Smith when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, let's dock $2 million per season off of Riley Smith's deal. Let's do that. So now he's making $3 million or $3.5 million, whatever it is. If you look at his numbers, I think he's roughly worth that. And then you tack it on to Marchessault, it's still a bargain for a 30-goal scorer. I mean, at some point, Vegas has to score some goals and not be shit. They got to be somewhat respectable. They got to do everything they can to get above 50 points next season. So I didn't hate Riley Smith that much.
And what about UFA Chris Thorburn that they just threw the pick away
What
on?
the fuck?
They just threw the pick away on Chris
Was
Thorburn.
that the worst one?
I think...
Or no, they got a pick
I
for
think-
that, didn't they?
There's been a couple
I don't know
of
if they got a
those.
pick for Chris Thorburn. Clayton Stoner, again, I don't care what Anaheim gives you, I'm not taking Clayton Stoner. Considering you have
What
to
did
play
Anaheim give him?
I think it wasn't a great pick. It was like let me have a look here.
Well, and it's funny because Cap Friendly doesn't display far enough down the line. That's one thing they might want to consider adding to their website.
Yeah.
Because picks from 2020 were traded.
Yeah.
Like Vegas got the Penguins 2020 second-round pick. But it's not displayed.
So we can make it official. The deal is Anthony D'Angelo, the 7th overall pick to the Rangers.
Wow.
And then to the Coyotes, Derek Stepan and Antti Raanta.
They've wanted both of those guys for a long time.
So yeah,
Because D'Angelo, I think, was a former first-round pick.
Mm-hmm. I think with Domi coming back,
He's not going to like all those
Yeah,
Democrats.
first round,
anymore.
19th overall.
Sorry, what?
First round, 19th overall, 2014. It's 21.
yeah, that's going to be a good team.
Defenseman, right defenseman.
And Stepan, I believe, is a center, and Raanta is a cheap-as-garbage goalie.
Who's pretty good.
Well, I can't. The one thing Vegas did that really confused me is what the hell were they doing in net? They got rid of Smith.
Mm-hmm.
That made sense. Mm-hmm. And then they protected Johnson and exposed Domingue.
Where? Sorry, who? Vegas?
Sorry, Arizona.
Yeah, I
the
can
other
get
desert
that.
team now. Now there's another desert team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very confusing.
And
but,
why-
I mean, getting Raanta, now you get an idea of, I mean, maybe they go platoon with Domingue and Raanta?
I don't know.
I don't know.
guess so.
This is another thing. Like, people were judging Vegas and some of their picks, and the criticism was warranted. And, you know, they're already judging the Coyotes and all these other teams. We're not even scratching the surface of what any of these 31 teams are going to look like next year. The Islanders are in the middle of completely changing their team. The Blackhawks are totally changing their team. The Blue Jackets are apparently changing their team. Coyotes, I think I already said. The Avalanche are completely changing their team. The Leafs, who knows what bullshit they're plotting behind the scenes.
Could be nothing.
Calgary's, I think,
nothing.
looking to make moves.
Looking at these trades.
Yeah.
Edmonton just made a huge one. Who knows if there's more to come. Who the hell is going to play for the Canucks next season?
Bergevin said we need help
the
everywhere.
Avalanche have no... the Avalanche. The Canadians have no centers.
Yeah, Bergevin said we need help, quote, everywhere. So they're not done. That I think is funny. Bergevin saying they
Yeah,
need
it's pretty
help
funny.
everywhere. Now, I have to use the bathroom.
Okay.
But when we come
Pause.
back, we got some stuff to do.
First of all, shout out Matt and Sarah, who are on their honeymoon right now, and they told me they're going to be listening to this. How's Spain? Is it lovely? Second of all, the more I think about it, I know. Second of all, I'm pretty sure that Coyotes Rangers trade sucks for the Coyotes.
Why?
Yeah.
That's a lot for Stepan. Who is that a number one? Like a certified number one?
They obviously like I said, they tried to get him several times last year. So they're hot on him. I don't know why. I think Arizona is more like we're getting a number one goalie. I think they believe in Antti Raanta.
Maybe. He's cheap for sure, and that has value for Arizona for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Only $1 million. Holy smokes! Like they might actually have like league average goaltending for under $2 million. What does Domingue make? I think he makes like 700 G's.
pull up.
Raanta makes one flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Also, Ranta's just one season.
So what is the
left.
ask for Travis Hamonic, Jesse, according to Elliot Friedman?
So Elliot tweeted that the ask is apparently, word is the ask is 2 first-round picks.
You're on drugs.
We'll see if it changes.
It will.
At Elliot Friedman.
Or Travis Hamonic will spend another season with the
You're on
Islanders.
drugs.
Can we pull up Travis Hamonic's page? Can we pull up his hero chart?
I already pulled it up. Unless I changed it for Holmeston.
got it.
I don't remember. Okay. We looked at what a second pairing defenseman is, or defender. So his ice time is good, 7 to 6, which is a archetypal second pairing defender. By the way, this is a second pairing defender we're talking about. Like, I think most people would agree Travis Hamonic's second pairing defender, even like people who like him.
Yes.
His goals 6 to 5, good. First assists 7 to 5. My goodness, so good. Shot generation 5 to 5. Shot suppression. By the way, this big tough meanie. You probably think Travis Hamonic knows what he's doing defensively. Supposedly 3 to 5, and it's like a high 5, close to 6. And then if I compare him to a third pairing defender, this is where you all make fun of me for saying hero charts are not the be all end all. Oh, and for some reason it refreshed. Anyway, according to this website, he's, I don't know, a second pairing defender optimistically, and pessimistically he is a fringe third pairing defender. I'll take him. He's making 3.8 for the next little bit. I know he's got his blemishes, but he knows how to put up some points.
That's not a double first round defenseman.
No. I'll take him on the Leafs. I'll take him. They could use a right-handed shot. They got other options. I'll take him. That's cool. Boy, 2 first-round picks? You're on drugs. No way.
Well, maybe Garth Snow made the deal to get rid of Grabowski because he thought, well, I've got Hamonic, I can get those picks back. It's a hell of a bet to me.
Word is from Pierre LeBrun that the Hawks are trying to move up in the first round.
Yes, because it's in Chicago.
Yeah.
They tried to get the first pick.
That's not why you do that.
Now, this is interesting.
It's not why you trade your second best player either.
They
Traded their second best player.
Second best player.
One of the things we
Panarin?
talked about.
Taves and Kane?
Oh,
I think
One. Keith? I don't think Panarin's top. He's probably the 4th best player.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
See,
Maybe.
I don't know,
Maybe they're a
maybe
good
even
team.
5th.
Sorry, I forgot. Did you see how I got lost in which argument?
Sorry,
which side of the
yeah.
argument you guys are on?
There's so much happening.
There's a great deal of things happening.
Fun. I like this.
We were talking about this when you were out of the room. Okay, Rangers, rebuilding or win now?
They have to be rebuilding now.
You think?
Well, they just got a...
I think they're at the tail end of win
we were
now.
saying that we think this is their
This
go
last year.
for it, and after that, you probably rebuild.
As long as you have Lundqvist, which they do for a while, you're win now. So they just got rid of Stepan, who I think is like a second-line center.
He's a second line center.
And Ranta, who's the backup goalie, whatever. You can go out and get another cheap backup goalie. That makes sense. Now you have this 7th overall pick, which the Blackhawks were rumored to be going after. If you're the Blackhawks, are you satisfied with the prospects you just got or the young guys you just got for Halmerson? Or do you go to the Rangers and say, hey, want to replenish that? Want to replenish what you just spent with, I don't know, some expensive player of theirs? Like, I wonder if the Rangers will flip that 7th overall
Brent
to the
Seabrook.
Blackhawks. Yeah! That's right, Adam. That's the spirit. Go nuts!
If Glenn Sather was still in charge, is he still?
In New York? I don't even know.
I can see a Glenn
think
Sather
so.
doing that. I don't even know
Too much
anymore.
crazy going on.
Wow, man. So, a lot going on there. Just a lot. Surprisingly, none of it Vegas.
Hey, if you're the Rangers, you now have the 7th overall pick. How close is that to Matt Duchene?
Wait,
And
what?
you know your rival's going after him.
Oh, if you're the Rangers. I thought you said if you're Vegas.
If you're the Rangers and you know your rivals are going after Matt Duchene and you have the 7th overall pick now,
You get Matt Duchene.
how close is that to Matt Duchene? Yeah, dog. This is fun.
I'm exhausted already.
I also, me too.
I think
I
it's
like
'cause I
all
didn't have
these
a nap.
guesses because I want to see how wrong they are. And the one that I got kind of right, I'll take pride in. That's the only one I'm going to talk about is the one that I got kind of right.
Okay. So let's just rewind here for just a second. I want to talk a little bit more about the expansion draft because this is what we know, right? Like obviously we'll follow trades as they happen. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that TVR seem to be. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Trevor Van Riemsdyk went for as cheap as he did, as I am with David Schlemko. Like, is that really the most you could get for Trevor Van Riemsdyk? I know he's the third pairing guy. That's really the most?
That was decent return. Like, I would hope if you trade anybody, you'd get returns similar to what you got for TVR. It's got to be worth it. Like, you can't tell me, like, for a guy that cheap.
They got a 7th round pick for him.
Like, Vegas has to already have an idea of who their team is going to be next year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though we don't.
And I know Mathot and Emelin seem to be the guys that they really are going to move.
Yeah, like they're clearly trying to move Emelin. They're clearly trying to move Mathot. It's already been said that they're probably going to keep Nate Schmidt. But that could be posturing. Like, who are the defensemen they got who they weren't rumored to be flipping? You know what I mean?
All of them have been rumored.
It's crazy. Like, do they just pick a bunch of defenders and go, okay, the 6 that are remaining are ours?
Maybe.
Like, I don't get it.
No, I think for them, what they said yesterday was we're keeping the young guys. So that would mean Shea Theodore, Griffin Reinhart, Nate Schmidt, Colin Miller, Braden McNabb probably would fall into that category, even though he's 26. John Merrill.
And McNabb you keep.
Yeah, for sure.
Theodore you keep. So we're at 2.
I mean, hey, man, the fact that they got Theodore is pretty good.
I think it's pretty good. A lot of people were saying rather than go after Theodore and take Stoner as the price, you should have just said screw you and taken Vatanen.
Or Manson.
Or Manson. I don't know. I kind of think I agree.
I do. I for sure do, because I don't think Clayton Stoner is a movable guy, and I don't think he's worth anything close to what he's making. It's one more year. It's not the end of the world. But
or devil's advocate, and the next time, first time Vegas is any good, Manson will be like 30. So, I don't know. This is nuts.
Also, Jason Garrison, they got him too.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to flip him. So there's one. And he was on hand. So they're not going to flip any of the guys who were there. So who was there?
What do you mean?
Fleury, in
Garrison.
Vegas wearing the jersey. So Engeland, they're clearly marketing. Fleury, they're clearly marketing. Garrison, they're clearly marketing. Oh, and it was actually Braden McNabb, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there you go. So you got, Garrison,
and they
McNabb,
wanted Neil
Theodore.
to be there, but he got his foot operated on.
Oh, okay.
But you have to think that they're going to flip James Neal at the trade deadline.
James Neal was pretty good. Also, take a look at how many contracts expire at the end of next year.
Yeah.
Vegas is just going to have half of the draft picks in the league for the next decade.
If they want a player next summer in free agency, you will not be able to outbid them.
Blank checks.
Yeah.
They have too much
Absolutely.
cap space. Yeah.
Absolutely. They will have that much money available. Like, I'm looking at their picks. Half of their picks are UFA defensemen. Half the defensemen that they have are UFA within 2 years.
What's the number of the cap next year? So I should say at the bottom.
$26 million right now.
Yeah, and the next season.
Of their
do you have
defense?
no, on cap friendly. What's
cap
their
friendly.
free cap space next year?
Year it goes. Okay, so it's 71, then 33.
There you go.
Then 16.
Oh my God! Well, and so they were with.
Remember when we were doing ours and we read our? I think that's better than what we came up with. I don't think we were lower than 30.
Not me. I was super cheap.
Oh yeah, you were at like 20.
Not me, because I'm Steve.
Yeah, I was at
I
like
started
22.
at 46.
Wow.
No,
Anyways.
but so they were within 800,000 of the cap. Then like 10 million of that was Clarkson, Grabowski, so that doesn't count. They've already shed, I think, like $4 million or so. I wonder how many free agents out there in the NHL, in the minors, in junior, and in Europe they've spoken to, where they've said, look, if we had a contract with you, it would look something like this, right? And they go, yep, okay. Let's see how much contract or how much cap we're able to shed. If we shed that, if we get to that number, welcome aboard. You're a Golden Knight. Like, I wonder if they went to, maybe not a Dodonov, because supposedly he's going to somewhere in the East, but I don't know, any decent KHL player like a Shipachyov, who they already have. Like, I wonder if they said to them, look, we get to take 30 people. We're going to try to flip them for everything. Once we get our number down a little bit, welcome aboard. Because right now, they barely have any money to go after free agents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brendan Leipzig. Leafs lose Brendan Leipzig.
Yeah, that was sad, but...
Was it sad?
I was sad. Well, and the other rumor, and I warned that this would happen, is Vegas is interested in Brian Boyle.
I knew it would happen.
Why? Well, first of all, they need center, so it makes total, complete sense. But why not? You're able to take Leipzig. Why would you sign Boyle in that window? If you get him, wonderful. You got Boyle and Leipzig. And if you don't get him, who cares? You still got Leipzig. No matter what, you get one. Vegas's worst case scenario here was getting one. They might get two. Lucky bastards. Kidding
Yeah,
me?
I wish Brandon Leipzig the best. I don't think he would have made the Leafs. I just don't see him making that team.
No, I don't either. But last year skewed so much. In any other season, Kapanen would have played more. Levo would have played more. Leipzig would have played more. Corrado would have played more. Marincin would have played more. Marchenko would have played more. So much. The only position, and Freddie played a crazy amount. Like, that was really the only one, because at least he got injured a little bit. Jesus. Like, they were so healthy.
Do you think it's fair to say that in winning his Calder Trophy, Austin Matthews, in fact, hit the wall? Do you remember that? Remember that article?
Yeah, he hit a wall.
Has Austin Matthews hit a wall?
He's, he hit the stage in Vegas.
He sure did.
You see, because so I'm just glad that we have confirmation that Matthews is better than Laine. Forever.
Forever, always, amen.
Yeah.
Also,
Panarin better than McDavid.
Did you see that Austin Matthews got more Hart Trophy votes than Alexander Ovechkin?
What?
No.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, I think
didn't
he
see the
finished
Hart
9th and
votes.
Ovechkin finished 10th.
The Leafs had a rookie who finished 9th in Hart voting?
But you know what? When I look at the names on there, I'm like, they're not wrong. I mean,
Ovechkin didn't have the greatest year last year.
And also, he was on the best team.
Yeah.
yeah. I just think Austin Matthews, if the award is most valuable to his team, he's up there.
Well, and
Like, he's definitely top 10 in the league, right?
Yeah.
Value to his team?
It depends
For
on
sure.
how you define the Hart
that's
Trophy.
that's the thing. The Hart Trophy is not the best player award.
Yeah.
No, most valuable. If it's the best player award, it goes to Sidney Crosby every year until he retires, basically.
Yeah.
Even with McDavid.
They should have
But
a best player award.
It's called the Ted Lindsay.
And it's all, but
it went to
in
McDavid
no
as well.
sport does it really work like that.
Yeah, you're
Because
right.
there's always the best player, and then there's the guy who just had a great
Well, if he's the
season.
best player, then he has to be the most valuable to his team.
Well,
not
no,
necessarily.
not
But
that year.
That's
Yeah.
how people argue that.
Yeah.
But excuse me, a little bit of gas.
Good
No,
thing it didn't come out the other
Yeah,
end.
McDavid-
McDavid, yeah. So anyway, McDavid.
We should just make fart noises all the time now.
We should fart instead of ding ding. You should just fart. Oh my God, what happened? No, McDavid was more valuable to the Oilers than Crosby was to the Penguins, which is incredible because Crosby was really valuable to the Penguins.
Yeah, but McDavid was on the ice for like 40% of Edmonton's goals. So
Yeah.
I think even Penguins fans can be like, okay.
Now I'm sure the tiebreaker would be Crosby won the cup, but that's not how the award works.
No, it's regular season.
Yeah.
All right. So with Vegas, we don't want to get too deep because, man, who knows? Who knows what the hell's going on with that team? They're not going into next season with $26 million wrapped up in their defense.
Yeah. As it stands at 1:10 p.m. Eastern, Vegas will pick 3 times before the Leafs pick once. Vegas picks 6th, 13th, and 15th. Leafs pick 17th. The rumor, well, not the rumor. It's actually not really a rumor, but it is a suggestion. What if Vegas goes up there and selects Nolan Patrick first overall? They flip a couple of their picks,
I would if I were them. Why not?
convince New Jersey. I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard.
And do it in Chicago's house?
One thing you just said, the picking before the Leafs pick once. Washington's first pick is in the 4th round. How many draft picks does Vegas have before Washington picks once?
I want to know.
I'm gonna
Hold
try
on,
to
I
find
got it. I got it. I can do it.
Do you have cap friendly
Yeah.
for Vegas?
They've got, okay, any guesses?
Well, okay, can you just confirm Washington's 4th is their own? Like, just go to their page.
Cap friendly Washington.
Just got to make sure. We got to be
Yeah, I got
sticklers
it.
about this.
You got it?
Their 4th round pick is their own, so
Okay.
it'll be
And that's
30th.
it. They don't
right?
have another.
It'll
Oh
be-
no,
yeah.
it won't be. It'll be playoff finish, not regular season. So they'll be like 20.
It's in the 20s.
26ish.
Late 20s. Close enough. Okay, so how about we guess? Guess. How many times will Vegas pick before Chicago?
I'm gonna say 8.
I'm going to say 7.
And Jesse's correct.
Oh!
8
And I don't
times.
have it
3 in the first.
No?
3
I would
in the
never
s-
accuse you of lying, Jesse.
Thank you.
So
thank
they
you.
have their own. They have the Islanders and they have Winnipeg's first-round picks.
So we're still in the first round.
8 picks before they get one.
They have their own. They have Tampa Bay second, and they've got Pittsburgh second. They have their own in the third and their own in the fourth because it counts. Their fourth is going to be before Chicago's
Yeah.
fourth.
Or Washington.
Do you
Washington's
want
fourth.
to? Do you want to suck? Because that's how you suck. Like all I keep remembering. What? Oh, I just heard someone say my name outside of the studio. It was very distracting.
Evidently.
Oh, a fan? What? Would you like me to sign you? No. I think you might have been with me. I don't know. It was. I was talking about the 2007 draft. I was like, oh yeah, Dale Mitchell was the Leafs' first pick that year. And someone was like, how the hell do you remember that? I'm like, well, because it was in the third round. Because of Toskala.
Yeah.
So do you want to suck? Because that's how you suck.
Sorry, we've come back.
Someone came in the
Somebody popped in to say hi.
I thought they were going to announce a trade. Did you hear?
Which would have been sweet.
Ding, 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 fart.
How many of the 8 Vegas picks will make the NHL before the Chicago pick does?
Washington.
For the Chicago.
Oh, Washington. Why do I keep saying
Oh,
Chicago?
that red team who's always good. Who am I talking about? You don't know. All of them. Because Vegas stinks, so they need the picks. Doesn't even matter if they're good. They'll make the team.
Wow. Man, craziness.
Now, that's actually a really good question, though, because Vegas is getting rid of all of these people for picks in the hopes that they will be good one day. So these picks don't need to just be picks. They need to make the NHL. That's actually a really good question. How many of Vegas's picks in the first 4 rounds, the 8 picks that they have, will make the show?
And also,
I think it needs to be at least 4.
As an expansion team, you want one of your greatest challenges is scouting. You have just started with your scouting staff, and it's probably pretty limited.
Well, they probably got some like veteran guys.
Yeah,
I mean, the Leafs laid off 18 dudes. How
But
many
I-
of them joined the
I
Golden
wouldn't
Knights?
want any of the Leafs dudes.
Yeah, you do. You want the ones that the Leafs kept.
Last thing on the Vegas thing. Do you remember Dave Nonis's quote? I'm not worried about the last 3 years of Dave Clarkson's contract. Well, he shouldn't be because he works in Anaheim and we are here and we no longer have to deal with it either. Vegas does. We're down to the last 3 years of Dave Clarkson's contract.
And we should make it clear. We're picking on Dave Nonis,
Yes,
not David Clarkson.
No.
If he was healthy, that contract would still be bad. You can make the argument it'd be worse.
But it might be Edmonton's problem had Dave Nonis laid off because apparently Edmonton offered more.
Edmonton offered more. I can't believe that. Like, Lucic is way overpaid, and that's going to be a nightmare in a couple of years, that contract. But at least Lucic is, like, even regressed Lucic is still decent. He's okay. He's overpaid. There's a difference between overpaid and a disaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Lucic is still playing meaningful minutes.
Yeah, he can play. He's overpaid. Would you take Lucic for 5? How about 4?
Sure.
What about 3? Like, that's a lucrative NHL contract. Would you take Clarkson healthy on your team for 1.5? No, thank you.
I also think we have a bad taste in our mouths. Jersey fans might have a different feeling about that.
4 goals.
4 goals.
I'd like to know how many goals he scored since that contract started.
With the Leafs, 15.
He had 15 goals with
I
the
think
Leafs?
so. I think it was 4 and then 11.
Okay.
I might be wrong.
And then how many with Columbus?
Less than 20 goals. I don't know if he got any.
The Kings have bought out the contract of Matt Green.
Not surprising.
Green had 1 year remaining on his player contract, and the buyout will result in a cap charge of approximately $833,333 grand for the 2017-18 and the 2018-19 seasons.
It's so funny how those numbers just start meaning nothing to you as a sports fan. Because you're like, oh, okay, let's cheat.
That's only 800 grand.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine if someone offered you tomorrow, $833,000 to do what you do.
To do anything.
Anything.
Like, what wouldn't you do? Sorry, man.
I want you to clean out porta potties.
I would do it.
Assassin. Like, I wouldn't be an assassin.
You wouldn't?
No.
What if it was a really cool assassin?
What if it was an easy assignment?
Yeah. Ooh. What if you're killing bad people? Yeah.
Did we just come up with a really good movie?
Killing baddies?
Steve Dangle, the assassin. Steve Dangle's an assassin.
Yeah.
But now he's about to find out.
Killing isn't as easy as it seems. Whoa!
Steve Dangle. Whoa! And Rob Schneider are in
Derpy Burp.
Coming out April whenever. Fuck you.
Is that a trade?
Oh, man. Good times. Okay, so...
I'm about to buy you out of your life.
That's a good line. Now, all right, so we're going to make a call and talk a little bit about the NHL draft coming up. We're going to take a quick break here, and then when we come back, we're going to have the person on the phone. The person's name again, Steve Dangle.
Aly Munro.
That's nice.
Aly Munro.
This isn't a cap you can recapture.
Oh, I'm going to cap your ass. Oh.
My cap isn't too friendly.
Whoa. Oh.
Can we come back with this?
I'm going to Tim Peel your wig back.
I'm keeping this in.
Yes? Oh, okay.
And then we'll pause.
What else?
Now we're paused.
All right, joining us right now is a special guest, but a new special guest, a new friend of the Steve Dangle podcast.
Yeah, well, I've known her for a while. When did we meet, Aly? 2011?
Yeah, 2011 was like Leaf Space days.
Oh.
And then 2012, you were actually my co-host in the OHL.
That's right, yeah. Aly Munro, in-arena host of the Mississauga Steelheads, sometimes in-stadium host of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yes, the past 2 seasons I was with the Blue Jays, and then this year just finished up the awesome run with the Steelheads as their sideline reporter. So
you're the sideline reporter now. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Jesus.
no, I did the in-arena stuff for like 3 seasons. It was fun. And now trying to do more, interviews and features and analysis.
Yeah, you're a great example of someone I can't even keep up with. Because, again, we met at like those Leaf Space things. I think the next time I saw you, you were volunteering at the Memorial Cup in Mississauga.
With a black eye, if you remember that.
I do remember that.
How did you get that?
She like fell off the bed or something?
Don't take NyQuil if you're like super sensitive to cough medication.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
It'll knock you out.
Story.
Yeah.
It'll knock you out and it'll give you a black eye.
Yeah. I was like, hey, hello, oh my goodness. What the? Yeah.
Believe it or not, guys, not my only sleepwalking story. I've also broken my arm sleepwalking.
What?
So just fun facts. Yeah, I'm an interesting guest.
So hold on. NyQuil, I would have thought you rolled out of bed. You were sleepwalking?
Yeah, I rolled out of bed in that one because of NyQuil. I guess I was moving around a lot. And then 2 years ago, I was sleeping in a bunk bed, and no NyQuil involved this time, just a late night at Sportsnet. And I was sleepwalking and fell out of the bunk bed and broke my arm.
Oh my God.
Holy smokes. You have a future career as like a defenseman for the Penguins or something.
I know, I'm just a Band-Aid.
So how many Mississauga Steelheads will be drafted by the Golden Knights in the first round this year?
Oh my God, I would be so excited if Tippett or Haig got to go. I think that they would, maybe not this year, but they'd have a blast in a couple of years.
So let's start with Haig, because I believe he's the higher ranked guy. And what can you tell us about him?
Well, Nick Haig, yeah, I guess Tippett's kind of fallen down there, right? So Nick Haig, to start with, he's been more consistent in the rankings. First of all, the guy's 6'6".
Wow.
So when
That
I
helps.
interview him, like and I'm a tall girl, like I need a milk box to stand on or something. Like he is so tall, and he's the perfect example of a guy, because they say, becoming a defenseman in the NHL is probably one of the hardest transitions of all positions. He's like NHL ready in my mind, and I might be biased for these Mississauga guys, but he's a puck mover. He quarterbacks the power play. His shot is really accurate, and off the ice, and I'm a big advocate of this. I think that these guys' personalities are definitely being taken into consideration, because if you're judging an 18-year-old on if they're going to be an NHL star, I think personality and, compete level really needs to be taken into consideration. So, yeah, that's my thought on Nick Hague. He would really fit in and eventually be like a top 4 demon. I've seen people predicting like the Ottawa Senators maybe. But I don't know. I guess we'll see where he ends up.
There's a decent replacement for Mark Mathod.
Yeah, I was just going to say. And also, I mean, wait, is he going to... I've seen him projected to go top 10.
Nick Hague, right now, last I looked, was like 20th.
This 20th, okay.
But
maybe 10 in North America.
10 in North... That's what it is, 10 in North American skaters.
10 in North America and about 20th, including all of those Europeans that are making a splash this year.
Could be a Leafs thing, then.
Yeah, you know what? He would look good in blue and white. He grew up in Kitchener, so he's I would assume he's players. They're not going to tell you who they're a fan of nowadays. But I think he grew up a Leaf fan. He'd look good in the blue and white, and they need a blue liner.
So I guess Tippett's next. Let's talk about him. And you said he's fallen a little bit. Can you tell us first off why?
Well, I'd like to hear what you guys would even think would be the reasons. This happened to Jacob Chikrin last year, and there's reasons, and he ends up being NHL ready this year that aren't necessarily all bad. I think there's a lot of things to take into consideration. Any negative thoughts I've seen around Owen Tippett is just his play away from the puck. No one really critiques him with the puck, and that's because if you guys have watched him, he can score from anywhere. Like, his shot, quick release is just deadly. And I don't know if you guys have heard my coworker Kyle Liberto's goal calls for him, but it's always like Tippett good. And
that's awesome.
It's a great call, and I heard it often. Like, this guy, again, off the ice, just serious competitor. Actually, Mitchell Stevens is his cousin, so good hockey pedigree. He's loved by everyone in the community around here, and I just think, like, as one of the better scorers in this draft class, as long as he works on his 200-foot game, which he said he will be working on, I think that he'll be coming back to a Steelheads team next year that could potentially get another Eastern Conference banner, maybe an OHL title, and continue to develop under James Richmond. I think he will be NHL ready in a year or two.
Wow.
Well, did you say he's related to Dave Tippett, by the way? Or is that just his name?
Is he related? I think he has an uncle who played... I got to pull up my... my scouting reports, but I just Mitchell Stevens they're close cousins too. His grandpa Mike is at like every single game, and they're a close family. Well,
and a reason that a player would drop, did he have like an injury or anything at some point in the season or the playoffs?
No, he did miss a couple of the games, nothing serious. And then that was actually while I was in Australia, so I didn't even get to really touch base with him there. I missed quite a few home games for 4 weeks, but then made it back just in time when they won the division title. And he was fine. He had a great, I guess he's inconsistent would be the word. Like, I'm very cautious, because I guess I can be biased. I'm watching the Steelheads most often out of all junior teams, and I get surprised with Tippett's play of the puck every single season. And JR said to the entire roster, we need to be 5 to 10% better when they did find themselves in last place in December. And Owen was one of the guys who really took that to heart, took it seriously, and so I think he's really coachable, which is obviously a huge asset when making that jump into the NHL. So I don't know why. I guess other people just their stock rising throughout the postseason. He just dropped a little because he wasn't every single game the go-to guy for the Steelheads as they went to the OHL final. He was a part of a bigger picture team. There was a lot of talent standing out. So maybe because he wasn't the go-to guy, his stock kind of dropped.
I wonder too, sometimes when these people are making these drafts, and I'm not talking about like NHL Central Scouting or with the European official lists and that sort of thing, but when you got guys who work for networks who are making these top 100 lists and that sort of thing, sometimes there's a copycat effect. So some guy says, well, it's not that I don't like Tippett, it's I like these other guys ahead of him. And so it's not anything he's done, I just like these other guys better. Maybe it's more exposure, maybe it can be a million different things. And then another guy looks at his and goes, well, he dropped him too, so maybe I'll drop him as well. And you know what I mean? Like that, I mean, because that's all these lists are. It's like, it's literally like, okay, Rolling Stone's 100 best songs of all time. Like, okay, we've all listened to the songs, what goes where, and this person picks this song.
You're telling me there's a 50-song gap between this song and that song?
And this song, yeah. So there's, I mean, especially when you get into the 20 to 40 overall range, a lot more similarity there.
The one that sticks out to me, I want to say it was 2009, was Calvin DeHaan. I remember I want to say he didn't even make the preseason, like, scouting list because he played in like Junior A or Junior B or something like that. Then the early rankings come out and he's like 52nd, and I think the Islanders ended up picking him 12th.
Wow.
So Which is so funny, yeah.
Yeah, the rankings, they're all over the place, and I mean, who knows? Or it could be a Dylan McIlrath situation where that guy was ranked like somewhere in the second or third round, but if one team really likes Tippett, they could select him top 10. They could select him top 15, whatever.
Absolutely.
But it's funny how much of an influence that copycat effect can have. Like I'm watching these prospect watchers, you know, at all of the junior ranks. Like Mark Edwards is a guy I always go to from hockeyprospect.com, and he's at the Hershey Center very often, so he's very familiar with Owen Tippett. So I think that he keeps in contact with guys who, you know, are maybe covering the Western Conference a bit more, and word of mouth is a big deal. So depending on and there's a lot of NHL scouts in the building as well, so I don't know if they're checking these guys' websites and stuff consistently, but anybody who watches Owen Tippett, they're going to be impressed, whether it's one of his better games or one of the games where they are describing him as a bit more lackadaisical. He does do a lot of, when he's off the puck, when he's his play away from the puck, he does do these big loops, which I think they'll be working with him a bit when he comes back to junior next year. Just a bit more direct routes to the puck, but he has good net presence, and I think he's a good competitor. He'll be ready soon, and you gotta love the red hair.
Yeah, absolutely. Another guy that has been talked about as a potential top 10 pick, and I saw some Leaf fans talking about they hope he drops to 17, is Nick Suzuki. What can you tell me about him?
Oh, he's so fun to watch. And before I was reading up on him, because just from watching him with the Owen Sound attack, and again, I don't get to see the Western Conference teams as much, but his brother Ryan was just drafted first overall in the OHL priority draft to Barrie. So I really dove into that family. I just wanted to learn more about them. And Ryan Kennedy wrote about how his possession numbers were through the roof. I think that they're the best in this draft forward class. His possession numbers are through the roof, and if you're watching him, you know that it's very rare that Suzuki's on the ice and he doesn't have the puck on his stick, or he's not in position to get the puck. So, you know, he's a big part of the attack going. 17, 1 and 2 to end the season. You got to keep it. He might drop to the 17th spot, and he would be awesome in a blue and white jersey as well.
I'll take it. I'll definitely take it.
Man, that's crazy.
Also, it's funny that, like, Mississauga and Owen Sound are in different conferences.
I know. Owen Sound is such a cool junior hockey market too. Like that rink on the bay there it's a good time.
Well, and then they took over the Hershey Center in 2011.
Yeah, that was a big story this year too, because that was the last time the Steelheads were in the OHL final. They lost to the Attack.
I know.
Okay.
I was there.
They got revenge in the round robin of the Memorial Cup.
What are we looking at? What else are we looking at, Steve? What's the next name on the list?
My favorite name. Shaw Boomhauer.
Shaw
Boomhauer.
She knew. What a name.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. He's a Dangle good player. He got wheels. He got a shot. He got everything, man. Dangle Boomhauer, man.
I think I'll just keep shouting out Kyle Liberto, the play-by-play guy I work with. Shaw Boomhauer brings the boom every game.
Yeah.
He's so physical. Like this guy, okay, he made the Steelheads team out of rookie camp. He's playing in the OJ last year. He says he wasn't even thinking about the NHL draft. Like as a guy playing in the OJ, they're not turning as many heads nowadays.
Yeah, and that's Junior A, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yes, yeah. For Junior A. So when he made the Steelhead team, undrafted, overlooked in the OHL draft last season, to finish his numbers might not impress you that much for a guy who's like probably early third round, I would predict for him. He's gritty and he's got a lot more time in junior to play, and he was a great third line guy who stepped it up in the playoffs, and he's a good character guy in the room as well.
Let's just keep moving along. There's no way there's another Strome. Is Matt related to Ryan and Dylan?
Oh, there's another.
Oh my God!
Another.
Wow.
And I was just at the Mississauga Sport Awards dinner, and I was sitting next to Dylan, who was still shaking off that loss to the Spit.
Rough.
But the three of them are pretty, they're tight. I know a lot of the news around Ryan right now with that big trade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Matt, Dylan, and Ryan, I hope Matt doesn't feel, because he's not going to go as early as his brothers. Dylan, third, Ryan went fifth in 2011. I'd say early second round for Matt, but he's a very mature guy, and he, most players, you might be cautious, bringing up the family name, but he says he wants to embrace it. It means people are watching him because they are saying, oh, there's a third Strome brother, and yeah, he's consistent. I enjoyed watching him on Hamilton. He's on both the power play and penalty kill. Just seems to be at the right place at the right time. Goes to the net. 34 goals this year as a sophomore. So yeah, no, he won the OHL Cup with the Marlboros too. So he's got a good background, and I think he's going to be like a fine wine.
No, he will just better with age.
Yeah, just let him decant a little.
Okay.
And it's interesting that he's embracing it, because it's got to be tough being one of the younger brothers of a big hockey family, because no one wants to be the Jared Stahl of their respected family, right?
No,
I'm not trying to hate on the guy, but remember when he was supposed to be the best one? It's kind of good that no one's been like, you know what, Matt Strome's supposed to be the best Strome.
It's hard on them. As an 18-year-old, imagine, there's probably already so much of a brother rivalry, growing up playing road hockey. I know watching even the two McLeods on the Steelheads, they're competitive with each other, and they're hard on each other, too. So I think the Strome dynamic, it'll be good for Matt to not really, I'm glad he's not projected, he's just known to be a very different, to have a different hockey identity than his two older brothers. And it'd be cool to see them together somewhere.
There's a couple goalies we could talk about. There's Jake McGrath, but I'm interested in a guy with the last name DiPietro.
Yeah. He was interesting to watch. You guys watch the Memorial Cup?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Yep.
He is a character. And he moves really well, and I was reading, actually, the Dallas Stars were doing a profile on him, so maybe something to watch out for. They're comparing him to a Jonathan Quick type netminder, and he just played really well. Obviously a goalie that had that much rest and then went into the MasterCard Memorial Cup. That's the great debate, is if the rest worked in their favor to win it, as we hear every single time a host city makes it to the final without going deep in the playoffs. But he looks good. He's a kind of guy who doesn't quit. Off the ice, he has that kind of attitude and swagger about him when he's doing his interviews. I haven't gotten the chance to speak to him, but when I watch him, or I'm down in the tunnel and I see them warming up, and the goalies are playing with their tennis balls and whatnot, he's just right into the game, a competitor, and a character, as most goalies are. Now,
when someone compares him to Jonathan Quick, I actually get a little concerned, because Quick definitely has a good resume, but you think of where goaltending is going. Carey Price has this amazing ability to just let the puck hit his chest, and Braden Holtby kind of too. So is he more of a crazy-legged kind of a desperation guy?
I think because he's not big. You know what I mean? I think he makes up for the size. So, yeah, it's not bouncing off his chest, but he has to get there to get it off his chest. He's just really athletic in that way. He'll move really low and really well. And he's a good puck handler, too, when he's not down low. So, he just turned 18. So, as a goal, and, the OHL just introduced the 18-year-old draft into that league. So, and that's primarily for goaltenders, because teams, if they draft a goaltender, they get another pick. And I think it is because goalies need more time to develop. So if DiPietro is, I'm trying to find the amount of wins he had this year. I think it was like 36 for the Spit. And
that's pretty good.
So he did well, and he's only 18. So he's got a ways to go, but he's definitely the guy you want to be talking about in this draft, other than that Jake Ottinger guy.
How about Jack Studnicka? Did I say it right? I have no idea.
Yes, that is it. He's a stud. And the reason I put him on my list to want to talk about is because I watched him with the Gens in the semis this postseason, and he's just a really good skater. He had 17 points in the postseason. He's lean, he's skinny, he's 6'1", so that's the only thing that he's not projected to go until they said anywhere between the 3rd and 6th round, but because he played so well, he's actually one of the only players whose stock really rose after the postseason, because he went off and played in the Hockey Challenge as well too. So people had a lot of eyes on him, and I think he'd be a stud in the NHL.
That's so weird because he'd be one of those guys. You always hear scouts talk about I'd love to meet his parents, because when you say he's kind of tall but he's really lean and skinny, I don't know, you kind of want to go and see how that turned out.
Yeah. True.
with the previous one.
What do you look like?
Yeah.
And he's got an older brother who's playing in U Sports now. I think he plays for Ottawa, maybe Xavier. I'm trying to remember, but his older brother Sam is he filled out, so it's promising.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and I think the similar thing with Mitch Marner. I want to look at how his dad looks, because that kid is at least 6 foot. Yeah. I know what he's listed as, and people think that's a joke. No, he's 6 feet tall.
He's just
tiny. He also weighs about 45 pounds.
Yeah.
Will he grow into that? What do you think of Gabe Vilardi?
Gabe Vilardi is good. He's going to play a bigger role next year with the Spits. It's crazy because he was projected as early as 3rd, and then he's also he's dropped quite a bit. And I know the classic line that GM's going to take the best player available, but guy's coming off a Memorial Cup win. He's been in a winning culture. He does really well in high pressure situations. He played on the wing this year too. He is a centerman. He's being drafted as a centerman, so I think he's not NHL ready. So I don't know if teams are gonna maybe push him down a little bit because of that. He has to go back and play a bit more time at center now that the older guys and the OAs are gone from the Spitfires. He'll get a bit more time next year, but he showed a lot of maturity. He had some bad injuries. He had an appendectomy.
Oh, jeez.
What is that?
It's
his appendix.
Yeah.
Was removed.
Oh, and his appendectomy. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And he had a knee injury. So he's mature, but he'll be in a better role next year and hopefully playing more time at center.
I always wonder about that, because there's a lot of guys who spend their entire junior career at center and they don't end up as NHL centers or even pro centers.
Well, if you look at Mitch Marner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably will never play center.
Nylander.
Yeah. He might,
maybe,
Yeah.
but it's funny who ends up staying there. And one last guy, if you got time.
Yeah.
Jason Robertson.
He is such a nice guy. He's one of my favorite interviews. I interviewed him a couple of times. He seems to be one of the go-to guys for the media.
Oh, he's Connor Carrick.
Yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
He's just a nice. He uses words well. He's ranked 30-ish, maybe 31st, which is weird to say. Still getting used to it. But he was told that he has to work on his conditioning off the ice. I don't know if you guys watched much of the combine or much of the highlights, but that was the common theme with him. But he can set up plays. He had 42 goals this year. So Jason Robertson, another guy, he'll go in the first round. It just will be later on.
Okay.
Yeah,
lots of great people to be watching out for. This draft's interesting because there's not even a clear-cut number one.
Now, is there any reason his conditioning might have been bad, or was it just he was unconditioned? Because there was one player, I don't even remember who it was, tried to do pull-ups and probably shouldn't have, because I think he was coming off of injuries.
From Kingston 2 years ago too.
Sam Bennett.
Yeah, Sam Bennett couldn't do a pull-up, so it's like a Kingston thing. I don't know. He was out of the playoffs a little bit earlier on after the second round from Peterborough, and then Peterborough came on to play Mississauga. But so I don't know. Apparently, it looked like he hadn't been in the gym since the season had ended, and I don't really know why that would be the case. Sometimes the pressure gets to these young guys who they're focusing on the draft, that when they get to the combine, their nerves get to them, or they're just, I don't know, you'd think the adrenaline would pick up and you'd just be really pulling yourself up there. But something he's got to work on.
Just a little thing.
And that's a very easily fixable thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's anything you got to work on, it's going to the gym. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Then I'll go to the
So
gym.
difficult, yeah.
We all need to work on that.
Oh, do you need to work out? Oh, okay,
No,
work out.
Gary Roberts is like calling Jason Robertson right now, and it's like, hey, I got you covered.
Yeah, come eat this
I'll get
green
you fit.
stuff.
Yeah. Come eat this disgusting paste. Oh, yeah.
Oh. Anyway.
That's gnarly.
Well, hey, thanks so much for coming on. You were
I
great.
appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Anytime. Feel free to call me.
Yeah,
It was a good
we will.
good warm-up for Puck Talks on June 29th.
Yeah, get your tickets.
Yeah, we're going to be on a
Good
panel
luck.
together.
Yeah.
What are the actual details? Where is this going to be?
Oh, I
So
don't.
It's Puck Talk Fest, put on by Homestand Sports. It's going to be at Rivoli, which is on Queen West. Cool neighborhood.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday and Thursday. Steve and I are on the Thursday night. So it's like if you use Munro as a promo code. I don't know if they use Dangle or Glenn for you as
Dangle.
a promo code.
No one cares
Okay.
about Steve Glynn.
No, Steve Dangle is a person. Steve Glynn is no one. Use the last name and you get like $5 off a ticket. And I mean, me and Steve will tweet out the links and stuff. But it's a really fun event. It's me. I hope you'll be drinking with me, Steve. It's like a relaxed atmosphere, and Mill Street sponsors it. It's great.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Pretty sure I'm allowed to drink.
Yeah, why wouldn't
we're
you?
allowed.
I might have to pick up the WAF. The WAF.
The WAF.
I'm not sure. But if not, yes, beers in my face. And also
right.
yours. Yes.
Allie, we'll talk to you again soon. You were great. Thanks so much for coming on.
Big fan of the podcast, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Appreciate it, homie.
Later.
Bye.
All right.
While we were on the phone, the Chris Russell deal became official.
4 times 4?
4 times 4.
Jeez.
And a modified no-trade clause in the last 2 years.
Aly Munro, by the way.
There you
Aly
go.
Munro.
All right, let's do the press conference.
Just a couple more notes. So she obviously didn't touch on any European players because they don't play in the OHL. But like Nico Hischer, whatever, and Nolan Patrick are supposed to be 1-2. I've heard a rumor that some teams don't even have them as their 1-2. But it's always funny. You hear these things like, oh, some teams have a different 1-2. Well, really, it comes
It matters
down
to what the first two are.
Yeah, that's it.
What do the top two teams have?
What does New Jersey have? Now, this year is a little bit different because if there was a more NHL ready guy, like how Ali was talking about, would Philly rather take that person? What about Dallas? That's all very interesting.
It is very interesting.
Very interesting. By the way, Dallas still has Bishop, Lettinen, and Niemi. That obviously has to change at some point, too. I wouldn't be surprised if it changes in 5 hours.
Nick wants to know, where do you think Shane Doan, Jerome McGinley, and Joe Thornton are going to end up?
Shane Doan retired. Jerome Iginla is going to play. We know he's going to play.
He wants
that's
to.
not up to him.
I think Calgary should sign him. Just sign him.
To a very
Low.
cheap. I hope, like, Iginla needs to be reasonable, too. You're not going to make $5 million anymore. You
No.
need to take a cheap deal somewhere.
He should take ELC low. He's made his money.
Buddy, take $1 million,
Go back to Calgary.
play
Playing
in
Calgary.
Calgary.
That's what I think. And then who was the last one?
Thornton.
Toronto.
Hey, the rumor from Elliot Friedman, I don't know if it was a rumor as much as it was just speculation on his part, but a cheap I don't know if it was cheap, but a go-for-it deal
Should be cheap.
where both Thornton and Marlowe become Leafs.
And Marlowe.
Yeah.
And Marlowe.
Where do they play?
That's what I asked
Well,
Steve.
So here's how I came up with the lineup. Komarov, Kadri Brown gets to stay together.
Okay, first line. Second line.
Well, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
I'm just naming like 4.
Hyman, Matthews, Marner.
Okay.
Because Marner is more of a playmaker, and Joe Thornton is like the greatest playmaker of this generation, so I want to keep them separate. Marlowe, Thornton, Nylander.
Nylander would score 85 million points.
And then your fourth line center is
Boyle.
Bozak. Martin has to make your team because rules, apparently. Now, who's left?
Kapanen.
JVR.
JVR, odd man out. There's a lot of trade rumors around him anyway. Islanders are looking to get rid of Travis Hamonic.
Or Calvin DeHaan.
Or Calvin DeHaan. No, I don't think they want to get rid of Calvin DeHaan, but Travis Hamonic is a right-handed guy that the Leafs could use. JVR's from New Jersey, not all that far away. I wonder if there's a little thing that could be worked out there.
If
And then
JVR is
you-
worth 2 first-round picks, maybe.
And then you throw in whatever of Kapanen, Griffith, blah, 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 blah.
Shit, no, you don't.
Yeah.
Fuck, no, you
No,
don't.
I mean on that fourth line.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, it's. They made their bed. They have Matt Martin.
Oh, well,
Yeah, but there's someone else has to play on the other wing.
Yeah,
It's
the
just-
I
other
thought
way.
you were saying to trade, and I'm like,
No. You,
Adam,
you're,
Jesse's sick. You
your
go
wing
home.
slot with Bozak and Bozak's
Right.
your fourth line center.
I don't think that makes sense because
No.
well, how little are Thornton and Marlowe taking?
I don't.
I mean, Thornton maybe takes the hometown discount. What incentive does Marlowe have?
None.
Yeah, Marlowe still played really well.
I don't know
last
if that
year.
happens.
And it's sort of Thornton. Anyway, it's an
It's
interesting,
an interesting thought.
Bozak,
Yeah.
and you could potentially jettison Bozak, and there's a lot of teams. Vegas looking for a centerman.
How about New York?
New York is looking for a second line center as well. I don't know who their defense would be to come back.
Didn't we come up with something during one of the breaks that made sense? Damn it, I don't
Okay,
remember.
Jesse. Next question.
Who wins a cup first?
Toronto.
The Golden Knights or the Canucks?
Golden Knights.
Ooh.
Golden Knights.
Golden Knights. Because here's the thing: the Canucks are still on their way down.
Yeah.
They still have the Sedins. As long as they have the Sedins,
Yep.
still on their way down.
Aly asked that question, so now you'll receive angry tweets.
Nah.
I'm not trying to shit on them.
Listen,
I'm just.
I don't think
That's
Canucks
my
fans.
opinion.
I don't think Canucks fans need us to tell them they're bad anymore. Like it
I'm
used to be
not.
that. It used to be that when we said the Canucks were bad, people would disagree with us.
Now, I don't think Jim Benning would do this, but a smart GM would look at the writing on the wall. They would look at their situation and they would be like, it's the draft. Every year, something dumb and unexpected happens. Trade the Sedins.
Wow.
If you can, which
You can't.
I'm pretty sure they both have no moves. You have to
You
ask
can't.
them to discuss it within their hive mind.
And somehow
and
has
then trade their $12 million cap hit.
12. I think it's 14, man. I don't think the Sedins make $6 million each. I think it's 7.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
Are you sure?
Yep.
The Russell deal breaks down to 5, 4.5, 4, 2.5, plus a signing bonus of $2 million, and then
They've designed it to be tradable.
year 4 is $1 million. So it's very front loaded, nothing on the back.
They designed it to be tradable. So that's interesting because it looks like Edmonton is preparing for a similar window to Toronto's. Even though they're young, they need to win now.
So what's the summer? Summer 2020? Russell's going to be traded.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
Yeah, he'll be in Edmonton 3 more years.
And all these people who are championing Russell as a great player and he deserves the money. When we have a lockout, they're going to be like, one of the reasons is they signed contracts like Chris Russell's. Like, what were they thinking?
Last question.
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
And Milan Lucic.
All right, so everything that we know today, throw it out the window because it's gone.
Garbage,
All right,
trash.
but hey, thanks for listening anyway. Tuesday, we'll be back with a real updated show and previewing free agency all next week.
What do the Leafs do today?
I think they make the trade for the defenseman. today.
I have no idea what their drafting is.
I think
they
everybody
pick in
seems
the
to
first
want
round?
Liljegren. Everybody seems to want Liljegren.
Well, shit. And I want a Bugatti, but Liljegren's supposed to go top 10.
You don't want a Bugatti. You want a McLaren.
Yeah, you don't.
That's
yeah,
fair.
you do not
That's
want a
fair.
Bugatti.
That's fair.
At car connoisseurs, you want McLaren
You
for
want a
sure.
McLaren.
Yeah, but is there a song about it?
No, but have you ever seen a McLaren up close?
Yeah.
I'm so not a car guy.
Oh man, if
don't know.
I ever
Every
have
ti-
that
every
kind of money,
time-
it'll be the first thing I buy will be a McLaren.
Like whenever they had the Hot Wheels toys in McDonald's, I'd always be like, "Pfft, I want the orange plastic hamburger hockey set. I don't want this stupid car. I have 1,000 cars at home because I come to McDonald's all the time." What?
Man, sometimes the stories that you have, I'm like,
Steve tells the best. Your book's going to be great.
So then I tied a turnip to my belt.
is that how you're going to start off your book?
It's going to be called "I Didn't Like Hot Wheels"
By Steve Dangle.
by Steve Dangle. A talk about my journey to sports media and my preference for the cheaper plastic burger hockey set that McDonald's had. And I would always lose parts. There's 1,000 flat orange hamburger hockey pucks under my known as TV stand. Anyway, sorry.
James Myrtle, right before we go, I don't believe the Leafs are after Colin Miller at this point. Pursuing more high-profile options on the blue line going to be tough.
Yeah, Friedman also said he doesn't see Colin Miller happening. I think that was just one guy, Lance Hornby, who's a nice guy, just thinking out loud.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up. We'll see you Tuesday. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see what happens tonight. It's going to be a fun Friday night.
Yeah, I'm going to pull my shoes out of Adam's dryer.
Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Brought to you by Panago Pizza. Order at panago.com and stuff your face with deliciousness.